Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has just signed a bill effectively banning abortions across the entire state. This is the strictest abortion law now in the nation, a near total ban, no exceptions for rape or incest. It also criminalizes performance of this procedure by doctors. They could even face up to 99 years in prison under the way it's written. The sponsors openly say the idea is to get this in front of the Supreme Court to overturn Roe. Now, I just sat down with Senator Cory Booker. We turn to that interview now. I saw today you said it's important for men to have this conversation. What do you mean?
Well, more than this conversation, it's important for men to lead on this issue with women, because this is an assault on human rights. It's an assault on the basic fundamental ideal that you can control your own body. And we know from Alabama's letters from a Birmingham jail by Martin Luther King, where he said very pointedly that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Well, this is that case. And this should be, and I think those of us who are running for president have a chance to affect the national conversation. But all men, we need to lead on this issue with women and demand that people get up off the sidelines. This is an existential fight for the right and liberty to control your own body, your economic freedom, to be able to make your own reproductive choices.
And this was a central issue in the fight you and your colleagues waged over Brett Kavanaugh. Take a look at the way he spoke about Roe during those hearings.
Yes.
Senator, Roe v. Wade is an important precedent of the Supreme Court. It is an important precedent of the Supreme Court. Been reaffirmed many times. Casey is precedent on precedent, which is an important precedent of the Supreme Court that's been reaffirmed many times.
Do you view his statements as a commitment to strike down this law if it becomes law in Alabama?
President Trump said point blank, I will put people on the court who will overturn Roe v. Wade. Nothing he said there convinced me that that wasn't the intent. And part of the
Since you're mentioning receipts, let's play them for your point, because this is central to the fight. Is this the goal or not? Let's look at, as you say, what Donald Trump promised.
Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, that will happen. And that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the court.
So when somebody tells you who they are, what they're going to do, believe what they say. And this is one of those instances where he's now put 2 Supreme Court justices on the court that I think the states are now seeing this as an opportunity to try to move these to the courts. But we are not helpless in this fight. In the face of extreme injustice, we must organize, and we must do the kind of things that you Roe v. Wade, codifying that in law, and we can actually do that in Congress by passing a bill that protects women's reproductive rights and make that the federal law of the land.
I understand the genuine, earnest care you have for this issue. You all are also running for president, and there's politics here. If the Supreme Court did use this to overturn Roe before the presidential campaign, do you think that would help the Democratic nominee, whoever it would be?
There are issues that I will not look at through a lens, regardless of what I was doing. I think we all have an obligation on this one to just think very fundamentally. Does a woman have the right to control her body, or do politicians have to dictate to her? You know how extreme this is? It literally says in the cases of rape and incest that a woman is still illegal for a doctor to perform an abortion. And so this is outrageous. This is an assault on human rights, human dignity, freedom to control your body, which has been a fight going on from the founding of this country. And I cannot in any way sit comfortably while this is going on, and this is a time in American history that mandates all of us to stand up and get involved in this fight.
You have been clashing with Attorney General Barr. He now has said there's going to be another review of the origins of the Mueller probe. In your view, is it possible that that could be productive, or is that a bad idea to begin with?
You know, this is somebody who has lost credibility in his position. That's why I've called on him to resign. He has been acting more like Donald Trump's personal lawyer, more like a Rudy Giuliani than the independent head of the Department of Justice. And what frustrates me is that anybody who takes a fair reading of that report with its redactions sees misconduct rife within this administration, literally lies and deceits, even ordering Don McGahn to try to manufacture evidence to cover up what could be a trail of towards obstruction. Even on the election side, you have a state adversary, a foreign adversary who's literally breaking the law, attacking our election systems, and they greeted that with seemingly glee and a willingness to do things that even my colleagues have said they would report.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Did Donald Trump obstruct justice?
I think what we need to do right now is answer that question, and there's a process in doing it, and that means we should get the unredacted report. Mueller should become before the Senate Judiciary Committee in open hearings, and we should look at the underlying documentation.
Based on what is public, though, do you have a view that that looks likely or unlikely? As you know, there are other people in this race, other talented lawyers like yourself, who've said yes.
I believe right now I have a job to do, and that should be to continue the investigation. That's the responsible way to do it. And when you have a...
Let me press you on that,
Yes.
because you're so smart. I worry that you're using your intelligence to move us away. You just said you have an investigation to do, but as you know, when we go look at the Constitution, it says the investigation is done, and you are actually in the position of the Congress making a judgment. You are the decider because we don't indict sitting presidents. So when would you be able to decide? The Mueller report is long, it's detailed, and many scholars have said it shows criminal intent by the president.
Yeah, well,
or do you just think it doesn't?
No. Well, first of all, if you really want to get specific, I have a role. I mean, in the United States Senate, which is the jury after impeachment has been passed by the House. Articles of impeachment have been passed by the House. So right now, even Nancy Pelosi is saying, let's continue this investigation and go where the facts lead us. And then if they pass those articles of impeachment, the Senate sits in as a jury.
So you're comfortable just waiting on that, and if the House doesn't impeach, that's it?
I think the Senate Judiciary Committee has a role and responsibility right now, and for Barr not to even be cooperating with the House's request for documentation, subpoenas, this is a real problem. We have a constitutional conflict right now that I think actually will be going over to the courts. But for me, this is not a time for politics. It's a time for sobered examination of the facts.
Copy.
And continue to go there.
I want to get you on some other items while I have you.
Yes.
We have seen gun deaths reach a multi-decade high last year. You've spoken out about that, not only in terms of gun control, but suicides via guns. Why is that an important part of this for you? How do you fix it?
You have to understand that to live in a inner city black and brown community where I literally have shootings in my neighborhood. Last week, someone killed with an assault rifle on my block. When you say we've reached decades high, in our lifetime, we've had more people die from gun violence in this country than all of our wars, Revolutionary War, through World Wars, through Korea, through Vietnam combined. And suicides, every day we have about 100 people murdered. It's about 2 to 1 suicide to homicide. And we're not giving enough focus to suicide deaths in this country, and still have this almost a resignation that, again, that we are helpless to stop them, and that's just not true.
And you think those are people who, some of whom, if they had the help and not the ready access to a weapon, that might be a life saved?
Exactly. And we know that, again, from the data and the evidence on states that have taken action to try to make sure we are cutting those deaths. And that means everything from taking people at high risk for suicide and suspending their rights to have weapons during a limited period of time with due process. It means things as simple as having safe storage laws so that those guns aren't easily accessible. A family gun isn't as easily accessible by a young person who wants to commit suicide.
Yeah, and it's such an important issue, and one we want to track how these candidates are dealing with it. It's one of the great security challenges and life challenges in America right now. Now, before I let you go, I want to hit you with the lightning round.
Okay.
Fast answers, one word when possible.
Okay.
And other candidates? Yeah, we made that just for you. Other candidates have done this.
Okay, I'm afraid.
So
I'm afraid. With you, I'm afraid.
Your dream running mate, living or dead?
I will not answer that question.
It could be someone who's no longer with us. Elizabeth Warren answered it at this table. She said Teddy Roosevelt.
At this table, she said her dream candidate was to resurrect the corpse of Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, she didn't put it like that.
I've watched too much sci-fi to know. Even everybody watched.
She didn't say zombie Roosevelt.
If you watch Pet Sematary, where you're going is dangerous territory. Don't do it. So you watch a movie in my neighborhood, we're yelling at the screen. Don't do that.
it. So you're passing.
I am going to press the pass button, but you will find out when I am the nominee of our party.
Okay.
Who my dream running mate is.
When you need to chill, your favorite TV show or Netflix?
God, I am a sci-fi addict. I will watch even reruns of good sci-fi if I have to. And
like?
You know, I'm trying to give you the most. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you what when I had insomnia the other night, that I turned to a series. How do you get me to admit this? The series is Supernatural. Yes, it's sort of sci-fi horror-ish, which is the reason why I say please don't resurrect.
Are you more Star Wars or Star Trek?
I am a sci-fi person. If you're forcing me to choose and to stand in one universe, I will stand in the Star Trek universe.
I could buy that with you. Yeah.
Yes, they have
Star Trek is, I don't know if I'm going to make a huge mistake, but nerdier?
I
think,
look, maybe I will just say that the people I respect, from Cisco to Picard, great bald leaders in the future.
Amazing. If we opened your Spotify, what would be the most played thing?
Right now, I am stuck in a loop of a little bit old, but Chance the Rapper. I'm just, you got a problem with me? I've been listening to that. I've been hyper listening. I don't know why that's speaking to me right now, but this morning.
Is it speaking to you because you feel like if one more label tries to stop you?
I don't have the dreadheads there to meet you in the lobby, but this morning I woke up and I go this. I have a great list. I should make it public. Gospel. I just love gospel.
We'd love to hear that. I'd love for every candidate to put out their list. When you're working out, the music that pumps you up.
I actually will listen to lots of different things. I actually have Spotify mixes for runs, Spotify mixes for weightlifting, and they range everywhere from gospel to hip hop to I'll admit it. There are, Les Mis, I have got some I like.
I could see you with the Les Mis.
Yes.
You're a Renaissance man. One word answers on some people, and then we're done.
Okay.
Bill Barr.
Resign.
Lindsey Graham.
Praying for him.
Bob Mueller.
Come before Congress.
Joe Biden.
National servant.
Elizabeth Warren.
Great partner and ally on my favorite some of my favorite legislation.
Donald Trump.
1 term.
Senator Cory Booker. Always great to have you on the beat. Hope you come back. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.